is 7:04 on this Thursday, January 11th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Thursday morning and all set to go. Glad to have you with us. And, of course, each Thursday we're glad to be on the air for Bates Ford, now at 1780 Franklin Road. We've got Paul Tubbs with us this morning as usual, and let me push a little button here, and we ought to be ready to go now. Paul, good morning.
Good morning.
And Ronnie Kelly is here. Ronnie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We're glad to have you both, as always. Paul is the general manager at Bates Ford. Ronnie's been in sales now, is it 37?
Almost 37.
Almost 37 years. Well, get us started, Paul.
We got a lot going on. Finally getting a little settled in. Waiting, got an email confirmation from Ford. We're going to have our directional signage here in a couple of weeks, which is going to help matters considerably because people not knowing where to go with the front facing the interstate and the back looks like a front and no signs. It's kind of a little mad chaos, but we're making it through it. But we did get an email saying that our directional signage is on the way, which will tell you to pull all the way around by the interstate. You can pull around to the service department and it'll give you, directions which way to go. So that makes a big difference.
Well, a lot has happened since you were here last Thursday, at least in my life. I'm now driving one of your used cars. Ronnie Kelly, you had a lot to do with that.
Yes, had a lot to do with that, and that was great. I was very excited, Billy Mullinax and myself worked at it. Paul, I got with Paul, and he got some numbers together, and he wanted to make it great for you to, have a pleasant.
Well, you really did. You really did. And I appreciate it. It's everything's looking up.
That's good,
What do you got to say about the car sales?
Well, what we got about the car sales right now, we got a great selection of used cars, and we have a better selection of new cars. So right now we're selling a lot of new cars and getting a lot of great trade-ins, and that's how we have our great used cars when we got those trade-ins for our new cars. So we got some great deals going on right now. We do have a lot of rebates going on. We got low interest rates on some vehicles, 0%. We got some that got 1.9 for 60 months, 1.9 for 72. So we got some great things going on right now. And I know it's cold right now, but if you come on out to Bates Ford and come on the inside, and we'll give you a cup of coffee, we'll sit down and go over our inventory.
And I think you really do. You try to find the best deal you can for the person, fit their needs, obviously, yes. and then the best that you can come up with to help them get what they want.
Yes, and we do have a great selection because we got our used cars that are getting serviced, and we get them out a lot quicker. We got a lot more people working now, so we get them back on the line. But if we have something, if you don't see something, please ask one of our salespeople, and they will find that vehicle and make it work for you.
All right, Paul, back to you. We always talk about your service and all the oil changes that you do. I think you're doing even more now. And, of course, tires and batteries are something that helps keep the door open, I guess.
Yeah, I was wondering if you was going to go get the battery and tires off your old Cadillac and bring it.
Well, I haven't yet.
Yeah, you still got the warranty, so I figured you might want to strip it. No, we're doing a lot. My mother texted me yesterday, was talking about, and said I forgot to mention last week, pickup and delivery. MJ, I think, is going to take advantage of that. If you've got a vehicle that you want serviced, if you'll give Shelly a call, she handles our pickup and delivery and does a great job, but she'll come get your car and we can change the oil. We're doing oil changes consistently. We've got at our new location quick oil change area where we've got about 10 to 12 guys that's doing that consistently. If you got some tires that you want to get, I've had a lot of people from the golf course and everywhere call me and price tires. Will meet or beat anybody's price. I called a mutual friend and his friend called and said, hey, you're about $10 to $15 cheaper per tire than some other tire places. So we'll never beat anybody's tires. We do a $39.95 up to 5 quarts semi-synthetic blended oil change. Some people get a little confused. We can't do a full synthetic oil change for $39.95. The oil's about $100, but we do a $39.95 semi-synthetic oil change, and of course our batteries is 3-year free replacement and a 100-month warranty, and right now batteries are running $179.95.
Well, all of that at Bates Ford, and of course Ronnie, I guess you've got to be, you're at the top of the list when it comes to the salespeople there, at least as far as longevity is concerned. You've been there a lot longer than anybody else.
Yes, sir.
Nearly 37 years.
Nearly 37.
But you've got some others who've been there for a while.
Well, we got some others been there. We got a great team. We got a great sales team. We help each other, and that's a great thing. And we, like Paul said, we just like one big family. So we work together. If somebody's not there on the sales team, they'll take care of business for someone else, and we do service after the sale.
Yeah, and I don't think I mentioned this morning, the dealer will trade for anything it don't eat. We don't want to leave that out. That's kind of been your motto, your tagline for 10 or 15 years, since 08 or 09.
Yeah, that's something kind of Tony came up with, kind of think out of the box, and we're still sticking to that. If you've got something you either want to trade on a vehicle or turn it into cash, if you'll get one of us people to call or email us some pictures, and, you don't necessarily have to bring it to us. We can look at it and see what it is and kind of get a number, and if there's something we've got you want, we'll certainly try to work with you.
All right. Well, y'all have a great week, and hopefully we can do it again next Thursday about this time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly with Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road, the dealer. It'll trade for anything it don't eat. We're 10 minutes after the hour. This is the Thursday we feature the Lebanon Police Department, and we do have Officer Richard Clark front and center this morning. Good morning to you.
Morning, Cole.
Good to see you. We have Zach Patton here, too. Zach, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. Public Information Officer Zach Patton, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that still your title, too?
It is, yes, sir.
You're co-Public Information Officers, I guess.
We tag team on this, and I think we're doing a good job at it.
Y'all work together nearly all the time?
We do. I mean, definitely with the events and anything that's going on, we both have our hands involved in everything.
Well, as far as I was just thinking about what you do in your leisure time, are you both of y'all pretty much sports fans, football in particular, maybe?
Definitely, in the last 24 hours has been very interesting for me, so definitely.
In what way?
Just the coaching carousel. I mean, there was another one this morning that's dropping, so it's I keep up with football all year round.
Yeah. Well, of course, we know about Coach Vrabel with the Titans, and I heard that coach at Alabama is about to resign, and Seattle
fired Bill Belichick this morning.
Huh?
Bill Belichick in New England this morning.
So he got the axe.
Well, I don't know if it's an axe or a mutual agreement, but
he's leaving.
He's leaving.
Yeah. Well, which one's your favorite, Zach? Or do you have one?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, Mike Vrabel, he's an awesome coach. I've actually met him in person before, and he's really great. And it's tough to see him go. I mean, I think any team would love to have Mike Vrabel. I mean, he's an absolute players coach. So I really hated to see him go. I thought they was going to give him at least one more year. And Nick Saban, I mean, that's just crazy. He's been the top of the standard since I've probably could remember. I mean, he's been in Alabama so long and been successful. So it's crazy to see him retire.
Well, it is. But anyway, that's an unusual start for us, I guess. But I just wonder who the Titans are going to get that I think could be as good as Vrabel. I'm in agreement with you. I think he should at least have another year, and I think he's a player's coach, and I've liked what I've seen out of him, except the winning I wish could have been more.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening at the police department? Anything particular we need to focus on today?
Well, we're Zach and I are getting ramped up and getting Citizen Police Academy will be here before we know it, and we're trying to get all that organized and hopefully we're not revamping it, but you'll see maybe a little fine tuning with Zach coming on board this year, so that'll be here before you know it. So we hope to everyone to keep an eye out on that and have a good turnout for that this spring.
That's an important thing. It's a way of, I guess, giving back, a way of people finding out more about what's going on with the police department.
Most definitely, and I enjoy. It's a different way to interact with the community and our officers, and we're a little bit more low key. It's kind of one-on-one. I mean, I know there's definitely more of our community in the room than officers most of the time when we're having these events in the evening, but it definitely more down to earth, you get to really interact with each department or each unit in our department, and it's a fun moment. Last year I was very heavily involved with it, and the interactions, well, the last 2 times I've been involved with it, but the interactions are just really good, and the relationships that we build, and to just offer that to the community is worth it.
Well, we've got a minute or two before we go to a break here, but as we look at the weather forecast and the cold front that's coming in and the sub-teen temperatures maybe Monday and Tuesday night, how does that affect the police department? You definitely think about it, and if there's snow coming, which is a possibility, I understand, you got to be prepared for that.
Well, we stay busy, and I know Zach and I have already started talking about it because it's one of those, make sure you check, on your neighbors and animals that may spend a lot of time outside, so that's something that we've already discussed. And then, yes, if there's snow, I mean, just pay attention to the roads. It doesn't take much, especially here in Tennessee, to get the roads to become a mess. And I think people think that they can drive the way they typically do when it starts getting slick, and that's something we need to be cautious about.
Do you have any special training for snow driving for the police department?
Well, they do. When we go to the academy, they really do teach us different environments and slick weather conditions. But it is, I mean, it's one of those you've got to slow down and pay attention to what you're doing, knowing how to steer into it, and then braking and gas. You can't just get out there and go down West Main like we see some people and think it's a drag strip, and next thing you know, you're sliding into someone. So it's take your time and be cautious about what you're doing.
Yeah, it's probably one of the biggest things about driving in snow, and of course, some people just aren't very good at it, to be honest. And
you're right.
I want to think that I'm a pretty good driver in snow. You leave enough space between you and the next vehicle, if at all possible, for one thing, and slow down. And you don't. You want to be careful about hitting the brakes too.
You do, especially. I mean, now most cars have analog brakes. You just gotta. You said it. If you're not a good driver, it's not a time to go out there and do donuts and just go ride around and see what's going on in town and how the roads are. It's time, and when we get significant snow, it's time to stay home. And
well, of course, we wait and see, and sometimes I think they forecast the worst, and then it's not that bad, and we're all happy. Maybe that's the way it'll be this time.
It may be. It definitely looks like it's going to be cold, but I don't know that they're confident on the snow yet.
Right. Okay, a break here, and more coming up with Officer Richard Clark and Zach Patton here on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator, plus 0% financing. It's going on now until the end of the year. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. T-Dot's behind a car that's up against a wall in a terrible spot. I-65 southbound there in Madison, right near OHB. It's got a little bit slow now between Vietnam Vets and OHB coming down 65 southbound where that car's up against the wall. Traffic's on the increase out here 24 westbound up through the Hickory Hollow area. A lot of traffic coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County towards Davidson County. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken is hiring at all 4 locations. Order online today. It's easy. Log on to princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
The cozy warmth after coming in from a chilly, pink-cheeked morning walk. The perfect man cave temperature to kick back and watch the big game. When the weather turns cold, a new Rheem heating system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Feel year-round comfort with a new HVAC system installed by the pros at Randy's Heat and Air. We're the local team you can trust. Call Randy's Heat and Air today at 615-237-3604.
We continue here on this Thursday morning. We are joined, of course, by officers Richard Clark and Zach Patton, Public Information Officers for the City of Lebanon Police Department. And I want to digress. We are digressed a little bit with our sports talk this morning, but I'm not bragging, but whatever. I think we've already established today is my birthday. And we have a loyal listener, Mrs. Ann Floyd, who is such a great listener, such a great person, and really a friend of mine. And she had the florist, Scott Graham, to knock on my door Tuesday night, thinking my birthday was yesterday. And you see this flower arrangement here, and it's got 8 $10 bills attached. And what was you said a minute ago?
It looks like money finally grew on a tree.
That is so nice, and I just wanted to publicly thank her for being the great person she is and listening all the time. And she, let's put it this way, she can hear a lot better than she can see, so she certainly enjoys radio, and just an avid listener. And we thank her and thank you for your kindness, your generosity, because $84 and a flower arrangement is a lot more than $84 and having that delivered. So. But that's Mrs. Floyd.
Well, Coleman, happy birthday. I also got to say you share one with my wife today, so today's her birthday, so I hope y'all both have a great day.
Yeah, what's your wife's name?
Makasha Clark.
Well, Makasha, happy birthday to you today. And I hope that Richard treats you well. I'm sure he will.
You got birthday plans?
Probably up to Helen. I don't know what she's got in mind. If she wants us to go out to eat, we might do that. That's probably it.
You want to go to lunch at the Senior Citizen Center today?
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I think so, but I'm not guaranteeing that.
I bet they'd sing you happy birthday. That may be why he doesn't want to go.
If I'm there, they will. Well, let's get back to the police department. We talked about the weather and that, but that has. I mean, things slow down. And things change, especially when we have snow. Cold weather is bad enough, but if you got snow on the ground and school is out, but there's still a lot of people do need to go to work and need to move. We're always saying stay at home if you don't have to go somewhere, which is probably a good idea, especially in times of snow.
Most definitely, and you'll see a lot in our department, especially our emergency services unit will be out trying to help out as much as they can, and including patrol. They definitely stay busy. It makes call volume kind of varies. I mean, I've worked quite a few snow days, but it's kind of a flip of the coin if depending on how people, if they listen to us about staying home or what they're doing. But it can make a very busy day for us if individuals are on the road and not using caution.
I have noticed the presence of officers maybe even more frequently here of late. Are you increasing the patrolling, maybe writing more speeding and traffic citations?
I don't know that the citation writing is going up, but it's definitely one of those, as I've said numerous times on here, is the opportunity to educate our community on if they're doing something. Is we still take advantage of that, but we are, I believe, with the offers we have out, we're finally fully staffed with officers, and that's a nice thing to say for once until someone retires or anything happens. But I hope that's a good thing to hear you saying that we have that you're seeing the presence, because that is something we want to be visible in our community.
Well, I've just got to say that where I've been, they're everywhere. Here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, it seems like I've seen them all the time.
Well, and we mentioned last month, especially with the holidays just passed, we were really trying to up our patrols and be seen and trying to make sure that the community felt safe during that time of the year.
Well, what are you doing, Zach? You have some special projects. I think they kind of give to you, and you one of these young fellows who's probably a computer guru and knows how to do all those things that some of us older ones have a terrible time doing.
Yes.
You are doing that, right?
Yeah. So with it being kind of winter season, our community engagement events are kind of slowing down right now. So I'm doing a lot of internal projects right now for our police department that include, surface design. Where we got a new TV up in our lobby that's going to, show all of our officers and, show them by, what shift they're on or what unit they're in, or, by detectives, whatever it may be. So right now I'm working on a lot of internal stuff, working on some social media stuff like our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and things like that. So when we're not out in the community, I'm doing a lot of internal stuff. So
I'm just wondering, do you know off the top of your head or know how many actual people are employed at the Lebanon Police Department?
160. It's either 160 something, 170.
We're probably up to 170, depending on if we're fully staffed. I believe we're up, if we're fully staffed with officers, it's around 121 officers, I believe. So you add the civilians in there, we're in the 170s.
And you're talking about several different departments. I mean, you have people that are out on patrol. You have your detectives. You have people like you and others, and I don't know all about that. You might add to that or expand on that.
And definitely, that's where the Citizen Academy becomes great, because there's a lot that our department has to offer that maybe you don't see on a day-to-day basis. I mean, we've got a lot of civilian opportunities and continuing to try to grow that if you don't want to be an officer. So it's not just, our department's not just about law enforcement officers, but we have civilians as well, which, I mean, Zach's one of them, and we have IT side, we have codes, animal control, records, dispatch. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities in our department if you're not interested in the law enforcement side.
If it wasn't for our civilians, it'd make our officers' job a lot more difficult. Our civilians do a really good job of supporting our law enforcement officers who, then go out and support our community.
Well, there obviously is a difference between the Lebanon Police Department and the Wilson County Sheriff's Department, but at the Sheriff's Department, nearly everybody that starts that's new, has not had police experience before, starts at the jail. You don't have a jail. you don't start there. You start somewhere else. Maybe I've heard of a number of people maybe starting as a dispatcher and then working their way. And although it seems to me you've got to be pretty skilled to be a dispatcher, that's a hectic, can be hectic moments to be in. Maybe not all the time, but you're there waiting for the calls to come in.
We ran a campaign a month or two back about our dispatchers and how they're more than just call takers. They're a lot of times they're on the front lines of those calls before our officers get a hold of them. So, they have to be level-headed and skilled in what they do, and they're a very integral part of just the process of protecting and serving our community.
Yes, they're the recipients of the 911 call. If it's not, they don't answer it. It's definitely given to them to do something. So, and then you got to make a decision. What do we do? But you have training in that, right?
They do, and Zach's right. I mean, they're a key part of our department. And honestly, there's days that I don't want to say I couldn't do their job, but I've seen what they do, and it's very impressive. And to the stress that it gets stressful in there, and they're able to handle it and delegate which direction and who needs to get there. It's impressive.
Well, what about detectives? Some people will maybe be patrolmen and they go to be detectives. I guess some people maybe start out being a detective, but I'm thinking it takes a pretty special person to do a good job as a detective.
When it comes to the law enforcement side, we all start off on patrol, and then you work your way up. If you get promoted, you end up being a detective if that's the route you choose to go and get selected. But a detective it's definitely another key role in our department. There's a lot of people they want to start, let me go be a detective. The detective's job to be able to go and sit down with people in some of their hardest times of their life and to be able to try to assist them or break. It's a big puzzle, which that's what even patrol, that's what our job is trying to find those key missing pieces of a puzzle and to really assist people in times of need. And that's a big role because there's a lot of, not necessarily crimes, but just situations where a detective may come out, and that is key in trying to help an individual and sometimes their biggest time of need.
Right, and sometimes these cases are not immediately solved and can go on for a long period of time. I mean, even years. And once in a great while, it might be 3 or 4 or 5 years before somebody's finally they get all the pieces put together and somebody's arrested.
Definitely, and then there's times where a detective may not get it until years after a crime's actually happened. So it makes it a little bit difficult when they go back and you've had years, not just, hey, this happened moments ago. They've got years to try to figure out where these pieces are to solve a crime.
You ever done detective work?
I've never been a detective. I've prior to this position, I've assisted a lot with the detectives and investigating things, but I've never been a detective.
Well, the way you were talking there, it sounded like you'd done a little detective work. You know a little bit about what's going on there.
I do, and it's one thing. I spoke yesterday to some of our employees that I just, being in the role I'm in, and I'm appreciative for it, but being able to speak for our employees and knowing, I know quite a bit about what most of our positions are and how to do it, and I love representing them.
Yeah. Well, Zach, I'm sure you're coming along. You're planning to do what you're doing maybe for a career?
I'm here right now. I don't have any plans on leaving. Like, Richard said, it's an awesome opportunity to get here and to be here and represent all the employees at our police department, all our officers. It's an awesome job, and I like it, and I don't have any plans right now to leave, so.
Well, we appreciate you both being with us today. We're about out of time. Officer Richard Clark and Zach Patton, who of the Public Information Office Department of the Lebanon Police Department. And again, slow down, be careful, watch for the snow, watch for the other guy too. Defensive driving is another thing we hadn't mentioned much today, but it's another way to be safe.
Well, real quick, Monday the 22nd, that evening, we're going to be at Tropical Cafe on West Main with Smoothie with a Cop. We did Chicken with a Cop last month, so that'll be, I believe, 5:30, 7:30 is the time, so we look forward to seeing our community at that event as well.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us. See you next month.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you. That is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Keep it here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $59.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, and a safety check. 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. In Brentwood, they're wrapping up an accident in a terrible spot. It's on Concord Road, just down from that YMCA, right near I-65. Again, traffic's a mess right there in Brentwood on Concord Road near the interstate. Traffic's on the increase down 65 through Millersville, as it also builds pretty good now on 24 westbound and through the Hickory Hollow area, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County towards Nashville. Hey, Prince's Hot Chicken hiring at all 4 locations. Order online today. It's really easy. Log on to princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and I got some exciting news for you. Bates Ford's moved into our new location at 1780 Franklin Road. That's right, Bates Ford's at 1780 Franklin Road, just off Hartman Drive and Interstate 40. We've got a much larger selection of vehicles to choose from, a state-of-the-art double-sized service department. So come see us at 1780 Franklin Road. That's Bates Ford, 615-444-8221. Bates Ford, the dealer will trade for anything that don't eat.
A.G. & Johnson is your experienced real estate and auction company, specializing in residential, commercial, and personal property auctions. Did you know that auctions are a fast and efficient way to sell your property? Auctions reduce time on the market and have an exact selling date. Call us for an in-home consultation today at 615-444-0909. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main Street in Lebanon, or find us online at agandjohnson.com. Voted best auction company in Wilson County.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win! It's gone! He did it! College Hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
Sunshine expected today, warming up to a high of around 55 as we head to the overnight. A chance of showers begins to increase and increasing clouds as well. Winds will begin to pick up a low down to 39. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Just log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm Stormy Clausen.
Coleman and Company, welcome part 2 here on a Thursday morning. We welcome you. Hopefully you've been listening to the first half, but if not, if you're just joining us, welcome along. We're on the air now for A.G. and Johnson Realty and Auction. Jay White and Helene Cash are here this morning to do the commercial, as we say, talk about this wonderful realty and auction company, A.G. and Johnson, at 728 West Spring. Community trusted since 1977, and their website, as we tell you each week, is www.agandjohnson.com, and that phone number is
615-444-0909.
Jay, get us started.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
Morning to you.
I guess I need to say happy birthday. Is that
thank
correct?
you. Thank you. Yes, that is.
Because they don't want us to sing it.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure.
The happy birthday wish will be sufficient.
Well, good. Well, Coleman, I want to thank everybody for a great January. It's been a very active on the private side. We're getting ready for spring auctions and early winter sales. We're going to crank up. It looks like here the 1st of February, and have our first live auction in February on the first Saturday here in February, and we'll be back up in the country up towards Noreen, and we'll start Noreen and head towards Mount Juliet in February. So we're going to cross the whole county in the month of February, it looks like. But we're getting ready for our spring sales, and look forward to having more sales this year. And we appreciate what everybody did for us last year, but we are working hard getting some sales ready in this cold weather.
Do most people just contact you when they're ready to have an auction? They come to you. You don't know about it unless they come to you.
A lot of times they come to me. Sometimes we hear about it and we reach out. But then they come to us and we reach out to folks. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a whole network of ways that it all comes together. But like we've always said, when you have an auction sale, they don't happen overnight. It takes some time and preparation.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about selling at auction or thinking about that, give us a call. Let us come out and talk with you, because it just can't happen in a 5 or 6 day process.
And no doubt, the reason you've been so successful, one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons you've been so successful with your auction part of your business is the preparation and the planning that goes into it, because you know auctions from beginning to end. You've done it so long, so you know what needs to be done to have a successful one.
Well, we hope so, and every sale is different, every auction is different, and there's different bumps in the road, as you might say, with any sale. But we navigate those and try to do it as economically feasible for the most, and put the most amount of dollars back in your pocket at the end of the day. And usually, if a good friend of mine told me, you can run too fast, and sometimes you just have to slow down and make sure that you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, right. Well, Helene, what do you got for us today?
Well, we were talking earlier about it. The residential housing market is still just as strong here in Wilson County as it's been in Middle Tennessee the past 2 years. So we're blessed to have that. We like to talk about that. If I talk about a house last week, it's usually pending by this week. So, and then we've seen that. Jay and I were just talking about the few houses that are pending this week. So if you're looking to upsize or downsize, if you're looking to list your home, to find a new home, a vacation home, a second home, just give us a call. We have an agent for you. We also have land. We have lots of land. If you're looking to build a new home, if you're looking to grow into a larger home or build something smaller, we have land for you. We love our land. We specialize in land. So we have something for you, and if you're looking for something specific, we can help you find that.
Well, to hear you tell it, just about regardless of your needs, A.G. and Johnson's got something for you.
We have something for you. We don't have it. We can help you find it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a great team. I don't know how many there are of you, but there's a lot more than 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah. We have I think it's 31 agents. So there's a lot of us there, and we have someone that can help you.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, you can go to the website. I haven't been there, but I'm going to have to one of these days just to see what it's all about. www.agandjohnson.com, but you've got a lot of information there, no doubt.
Absolutely, and it's being updated often. We're always making changes to it to have the latest and greatest information on there.
Well, you want the final word this morning?
All I can say, it's a perfect time if you have any raw land, building lot, 5-acre tract, 10, 15-acre tract. It's a perfect time to place that. If you're thinking about selling it, it's a good time to place it on the market. Folks that are looking to build, a new home, most of the time they like to get started in the spring where they can be in it before school starts in the fall. And if they're going to do that, now's the time that they need to be searching for that piece of land. So if you do have a piece of land you want to put it on the market, give one of our agents a call, because it is a great time to put raw land and building lots on the market at this time.
All right. And that number again is
615-444-0909.
Thank y'all. We'll see you next Thursday.
Stay warm.
Jay White, Helene Singer Cash, A.G. and Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main in Lebanon. All right. Want to welcome our Director of Schools, Jeff Luttrell, is going to join us. The way the calendar fell, you did not have a school board meeting on New Year's Day. Nobody expected you to. It was Monday night, and this was about the best day we could. It was Monday night, wasn't it? Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah,
yes.
And so you're here this morning to talk about that, and of course other things. Jeff Luttrell, Director of Schools for Wilson County and Wilson County Board of Education, and the whole bit. Everything okay?
It's going great, Coleman.
And I know we're all concerned when we hear the S word. We wonder about snow, and I don't know that a lot of snow is predicted. We kind of prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But if it's going to get 7 degrees and 9 degrees, that is cold, and you got to prepare for it a little bit.
Yeah, we've been looking at the weather here for the last several days, and we'll be making a decision. We like to make decisions on weather related as soon as possible, so our families can plan, and we'll be coming out with something, hopefully planning over probably Sunday afternoon, get the latest models. But yes, we're not built for single digits and then as many kids as we move, and when it gets that cold, it just brings a lot of problems for our buses and kids waiting on the bus, and we do have these inclement weather days. So we want to wait and we want to be right if at all possible, and you know how that is with the weather in Tennessee, but we are monitoring that situation.
Okay, well, and I know you are. You're up and put a lot of thought into this. It's not just a snap decision. You get the facts and try to make the very best decision. And even then, you're probably not going to please everybody.
That's correct.
What about your board meeting Monday night?
For a January board meeting, a lot of activity, a lot of good activity, a lot of things going on. We got started with just some, in my report, some presentations. There's been so much happening with our new funding formula and accountability measures, and some of that came out. And probably the biggest thing that highlighted the meeting was on the new TISA funding formula. There was some outcome money available, and I don't have enough time to get into all of it, but based on how students performed on their testing, this formula for TISA includes outcomes, where they give you more money per kid for meeting certain benchmarks. For example, there's a little more money for when a student made a certain score on ACT, and so that's just one. So we went into this year with not knowing what that outcome money would be. So no way to budget for what you don't know, and the results came in recent weeks. We received our outcome money. In total, it was $1.7 million, a little over that. And so we had to make a decision of where do we put that in our budget. And after looking at it, this is a direct result of our student performance. So I made a recommendation, it passed unanimously, of course, that all of our employees will receive a 2% raise beginning January 1. So we're going to try to get it on their paycheck January 15th. Now, our classified employees, they're 2 weeks behind, so it'll be the 30th for them. But that was probably the highlight of the meeting. That got the most fanfare, I think, and it just shows how our schools are performing. You hear everything, but now when you put money tied to it, it's hard to deny that our students are not performing. $1.7
million, $700,000.
Yes.
Plus a little more. That that's like a windfall almost.
Well, it really is, and we're trying to attack this salary. You know, it's something I've been committed to for 2.5 years, and we've been doing that. And here was some more revenue that we put totally to all of our employees. Everybody's getting it, and so
just an across the board 2%.
2%.
Well, now I recall as I was doing some of the top stories of the year a few weeks ago here, and back, I guess about budget time, there was a move put forth by some of the teachers for a pay increase, which the county commission didn't come through on with their request, I think. But this ought to make up for some of that.
Well, it helps, you know. And what we did give a 5% to our certified last year.
Okay.
So they're going to experience a 7% in this physical year, and this helps. And we've got to continue to do that. And you know, one of the things I want to do as director is to tackle our pay situation, and we're doing that. And when we get new revenue, and the great thing about this is earned revenue. Now, it will create a little bit of a problem. Are we going to perform that way every year? I think so. In fact, I think we're going to perform better, because one of the greatest things about this A through F system that came out, this is tied to this. And this was last year's data. We didn't know the rules. These rules didn't get finalized until, believe it or not, this past fall.
Okay. So
this is kind of a snapshot of our schools where we don't even have the rules to go by, but here's the outcome by this formula and accountability model that has been set in place by the state. So I feel comfortable now that we know that we can already tell you some areas. Well, if we'd have known that, we'd have done this. We'd have made this move. So, and this is state money. This is not local money. And it's going to our employees. And I'm proud of that fact. And you know, it was very easily get this passed through, and our board was all on part of it.
If I can read what you're saying here, if we hadn't understand, I think I do understand. You are very pleased, very happy to have the good grade here where we get this money, and equally happy that you're able to give everybody a 2% raise.
Exactly, because we appreciate what they do, and we've got to catch up. We know that, and we're already working on budget for next year, and we're going to try to take care of our employees.
Okay. All right, with that, we'll take our break. The Director of Schools, Jeff Luttrell, is here, and we'll talk more in a moment on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day up to 30 days after the sale. There'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. They're located at 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning in Brentwood. They're wrapping up an accident in a terrible spot. It's on Concord Road, just down from that YMCA, right near I-65. Again, traffic's a mess right there in Brentwood on Concord Road near the interstate. Traffic's on the increase down 65 through Millersville, as it also builds pretty good now on 24 westbound and through the Hickory Hollow area, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County towards Nashville. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken hiring at all 4 locations. Order online today. It's really easy. Log on to princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Saturday, January 13th, Mike Walker Auctions presents an absolute auction featuring an all-brick home in Lebanon. Located at 1260 South Maple Street, the home has 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, a kitchen, dining room, living room, and laundry room. The home sits on a quarter-acre lot centrally located in Lebanon and less than a mile from Interstate 40. For info and photos, visit MikeWalkerAuctions.com. We continue. Thanks for joining us here on this Thursday morning. It's going to be a nice day today. We're sweating the cold weather that's predicted for maybe Monday and Tuesday. But anyway, Jeff Love Luttrell, Director of Schools, is with us for Director of Schools for Wilson County. Jeff, if I may digress one more time here for just a moment this morning. We did this earlier, but we have a special listener, Mrs. Ann Floyd, who lives in Oak Hill, and she thanks so much of our program, and evidently she thinks a little pretty good of me too, to send this flower arrangement here. The florist Scott Graham came up to my house, knocked on the door Tuesday night, and they were thinking yesterday was my birthday, which is really today, but I accepted the gift, and it's a flower arrangement, and it's got it's got 8 $10 bills attached there, plus some ones. So 84 years. Isn't that nice?
That is very nice.
And so
very
thoughtful
nice.
of her.
It is.
That is Mrs. Floyd. She's a great lady, and I just wanted to acknowledge that again. And we thank her for being such a faithful listener and supporter, and this really means a lot. Well, back to you. What else maybe we need to talk about from the meeting Tuesday night or Monday night?
Just we dealt with some policy recommendations on changing some policies and adopting some policies. Then we did approve a bid for aviation simulators. Excited. We've started an aviation program, and these simulators, some of them will be desktops, and one of them will be a machine where it's actually like getting into a cockpit. And that was needed to expand that program and really take that program to where we want it to go. And this money came from the state's innovative school grants. So we had put those out to bid, and we got those bids in and evaluated and approved that. So we'll get those on order. I look forward to that. It's like very similar to big video games, but it gives students the ability to have that hands-on experience of handling a plane and getting some experience there. So that went through. Part of that innovation grant also was we're making at each school some improvements. We're going to add culinary to Green Hill High School. We've got to do some work in a room, so we approved that bid. Another thing that was approved is, we've started the construction on Double Log Cabin. They're moving dirt, and that site is active, and we went ahead. We had set aside some money, in our budget earmarked it for design. Go ahead and pay for the design of the next elementary school, and we're going to use previous design. So, but you still have to go through the process, and so we brought that, and that will be on Central Pike, the property we own, and this will come out of the school's budget. We're going to pay for the design up front. That way there's no bond. So we've tried to do that in the last couple of bills, pay for it out of our budget. And so I'm excited about that. So that process will come back to the board with the design in the next couple of months, and then we'll be this year looking at funding for that next school in elementary school. So
we've got to always be thinking ahead.
You do, and with the population, we're still. We really need to be building a school a year, and that's just where we're at, and our numbers are still going up. Update on the West Wilson, that project's coming along nicely. Have run into our last meeting some material issues, so we still don't know when we'll get into that. And they're still under their contract. I mean, they've moved along great. But if you've been in the Mount Juliet area, that building is a really large middle school. It's going to be a nice facility, and we're just that's where we're at. The building is. Well,
when you face a problem like that, where you kind of have to sit still till you get what you need to build with. You
can't.
And that does slow you down.
It does, and it's no fault. I mean, it's just that's part of the process, and we'll just have to see. We've got a meeting this week and see how far along that project has come. But we want in that building as soon as possible, but you can't get into it until it's finished.
How is that going to change the landscape when that is completed and people are there again?
Well, what's amazing, and even that outcome, and I want to circle back to that, the A through F came out where our schools got a letter grade. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. We're proud of all of our schools, and we had a lot of schools that were recognized as A schools. We had schools recognized as B schools. We had a few C schools. We had no D schools, but I think it was 10 A schools. But one of the things about that, our focus last year from my team's, our goal was we really wanted to focus on our middle school, on our academics. And all three of our largest middle schools, Mount Juliet Middle School, West Wilson Middle School, and Glayville Middle School, these are all large middle schools, over 1,000 students, 1,400 a lot of times. All of them were A schools. When you really look at that, you got to understand, because of the tornado, what we've been doing, Mount Juliet Middle School is split. Some of their students are Green Hill High School, some of them at Mount Juliet Middle School. West Wilson School is split, with their schools at some of their students are at Mount Juliet High School, and some of them are at Mount Juliet Middle School. So when you really think about it, that's really an accomplishment of teachers, administrators, students, parents, to make all this work. It has been a stretch. I mean, we're stressed. That's a stress point in our district, because so when we get this building open, Coleman, that's going to open up room at Green Hill High School. That's going to open up room at Mount Juliet Middle School. Plus, we got a renovation going on at Mount Juliet Middle School through all this too, and then it's going to also open up space at Mount Juliet High School. So it's going to help us, but more importantly, it's going to put these schools back together as one unit. So we really we can't wait for that to happen. But I'm proud of what has taken place under the circumstances, and there's been some growing pains, and so that was a big thing. And then I'll speak just a little bit to our K-8s. You hear a lot of debate, you can't have a K-8. Well, we had 2 K-8 schools that were A's. And I'm so proud of Southside, and I'm so proud of Tucker's Crossroads. Those administrative teams and those teachers, both were A's. And Carroll Oakland had good scores as well. So what we're seeing is what we're doing and what we're focused on is working with how we're being measured by the state. Now, is there room for improvement? Absolutely. And we know what those are, and we will focus on that. You change that focus every year based on your data and what you get back. But a lot of positives now. And again, it was frustrating going through the process because we didn't know how we were going to be measured. It's also frustrating that this is one state measure, but we also have accountability measures that are from the federal. So there's a twofold there too, and that still remains a little bit frustrating. But I guess the end of the day, it's exciting to see that our teachers are performing, regardless of what you hear a lot of times, and our administrative teams are focused on student achievement and academics.
And that $1.7 million as a result of this is icing on the cake, I guess you could say.
That is correct.
Jeff, what about special education? Some of your needs there, and I understand maybe that you're needing more teachers. You're having a problem.
We are. That is an area that is it's one of our highest need areas, and they're just not out there. The applicants are not out there. We're not getting enough applicants in that. And that's another stress point, because everybody's having to pitch in more workload to meet the needs of these students, and these students need their needs met as well as anyone else. And so in this year's budget, we're going to have to look at some things and come up with a plan to hopefully incentivize that, to try to attract more people to go into that area.
Is there any way to have an incentive in that area? I don't know much about this, but...
And we do some already. We have some incentive money that we give if we hire you in a high-need area, even math and areas that are harder to fill. Hard to fill. Stipend is what we give. but we probably need to look at that and see if that's enough, see if we can add something more to that, because we've got to fill these positions.
Well, the school board, I would think, is very much aware of this, and simply with the idea that something needs to be done.
Yes, and we will be looking at that, and we've got great special education program, but it's just we need people in that, and we'll be looking at that.
Well, we got a couple of minutes here. I guess basketball tournament time will be here before too long.
It will be.
It's still a week or two. This is just 11th of January, but around the 1st of February tournament time, and that's an exciting time.
It is.
You play basketball.
Yeah, and then you've got, believe it or not, your spring sports are already starting to. They'll be going to work here in just a few days. So a lot goes on in a day in a school and in the life of students, and just proud of Wilson County Schools. I'm proud of our students. I'm proud of our teachers, and it's exciting times, but a lot of work to be done.
Well, we were speaking of a little shortage there in special ed. Are you pretty well caught up with the rest of the school teachers that you need overall?
No, we still have openings, and we we give that report every month, and we're setting now. We still have positions for approximately 70-some people. And we understand we have 1,500 certified positions, so it's not terrible, but it's not where we want to be.
Not that high, but still, that's a pretty good number.
Because the reality is the need is there. And so we did have a job fair December, had 21 attendees. 4 people were hired, I think, within 24 hours of that. And we'll do that again this spring, work with our local universities and try to get our hands on these teachers that are coming out. But it's very competitive. You got to understand that, too. In this high population area, this is a competitive thing.
Well, I think overall, very positive report this morning, and thank you for coming. We appreciate you visit each month.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. Jeff Luttrell, who's Director of Schools in Wilson County, that's it for a Thursday. Join us tomorrow, if you will. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.